Hi, we are Group 7. Today we would like to give you a brief introduction about our multiple player game, a distributed system game Kick Them Out. In this brief presentation, we will introduce our game from the following aspects. First, let's look at what is the game about. Basically, this is a 4-player game, but actually we can support more players as long as our arena is big enough. The rule of the game is really simple. The only goal of the players is to push other players outside the arena in order to win scores. It is an online game. Players can use the arrow keys to control and move their own adventure. Different adventures may have different power capabilities, which are earned based on their performance in the game. After about 3 rounds, the player with the highest score wins the game. Now we would like to give you a simple animation to help you better understand our game. The next thing we want to talk about is why we choose this game. The answer is that it is an interesting computer game involving a lot of distributed principles. This game requires real time. Players need to update their location in real time. Next is about the concurrency. Since players can move simultaneously, that means they may multicast their information at the same time, so it is important to deal with the concurrent things. Also, as what I have mentioned about, every player needs to update and multicast their information to other players, and the other players should quickly parse this information, update their own status, and play quickly. This is a real distributed system. This slide shows the simple flow of all the actions the player can do, and now we will give you a detailed explanation about these actions. What you can see here is a tentative user interface of our game. When the players start the game, the available adventures are displayed on screen. Also, some buttons such as the help and the leaderboard are shown. Help button gives information to learn the game quickly, and the leaderboard will give the players a rank list according to the current and past scores. After the user chooses an adventure to play, the game will start. We have an arena and at least 4 players. 2 buttons shown here allow player pause or exit the game at any time. This sequence diagram briefly introduces the basic structure of our game and how different nodes communicate with each other. In our game, we will have multiple players in P2P architecture. We will need a named server only for the bootstrapping, and the function of the server is really simple. Its most important task is to record the register's host information, such as the IP address, the port number, and also which adventure the players choose. And then, when new players come in, the server can record the new player's information and send this information across all players. After the connection is established between each player, they directly communicate with each other without the server. From the point the game starts, we will totally have a P2P architecture. Each player will multicast their position status and other required information to others in real time using the IP address and the port number. In this game, we will achieve the following functions. First is the uninterrupted service. That means other players will not be interrupted by a player's abrupt leaving. The game still remains active for others. Second is the configuration. Users should be allowed to choose the adventure at first and register its information to the server. An already chosen role will not be selectable in other players' available role list. Another function is about the state consistency. We need to ensure that the shared resources can be accessed safely and reasonably by multiple players. The last one is about synchronization. Every process will have its own clock, and there will be a synchronization mechanism used to coordinate different players' actions. Game is interesting, however, challenge is still there. Concurrency issue and the fault tolerance are two obvious challenges we need to handle. When it comes to the programming languages, we would like to choose Python for the developing of the user interface, and Scala or Erlang will be used to build the backend. And we also plan to have some advanced features to enrich our game in the future. That's all. Thank you.